Hi people, it's Rob again here, and what I'd like to do today, in fact I've got several mini projects aligned for today, or lined up, let's say. One of them is regarding this Swiss Army P75, which is the SIG 220 in 9mm with the single stack magazine. It's, I don't know how old this one is. I should know, I suppose. I think it's 80s. But what we see here is that the sights are extremely yellowed with time, and my plan is to clean them up and to repaint them with some enamel paint, some white enamel paint, which I've got here. So that's the idea. I'll take you as well as I can through each of the steps. Here you see I've stripped it down, I've taken the slide, I've put it in some protecting jaws in a machine vise, just enough to hold it. It does move a little bit, you can't quite see that from where you are. But that's the idea. So let's cut the talking, and I'll get on with it and let you take a peek while we do. Okay, so I know you can hear me, and what we're doing here is I've zoomed up on this rear sight, which is this part here, as you can see, and I think you can just see that it's rather yellow. So what I'm going to do is try and clean it up. I've got some, I don't know if you can see that, brake cleaner. There you are, nice German, French, Italian, because we're in Switzerland. And the idea with this brake cleaner is that it will certainly remove all the oil and stuff. And hopefully I might even get down to the paint that's underneath it. If that's the case, and if it's white enough, I won't repaint. But on the other hand, if it still looks like it needs painting, then I will continue with the brake cleaner to remove as much oil and grease from the both sides, that's the rear sight and the front sight, and then I'll apply a very, very, very small amount of paint to both to make it more white and easier to see. I shall also use some wood alcohol, which is this stuff. Going to shock you now with a big green bottle. Here you are, German, Brennsprit, French alcool à brûler, and English wood alcohol or methanol. Okay, so let's get to it. I'm taking the trusted Q-tips or similar, and I'm going to put a little bit of brake cleaning fluid in a tiny little jar, which I have here, and use that then to rub on the sight, and if we're lucky it will come clean. Look at that, a little bit of darkness coming away already. And if we're not lucky, it won't come clean, and we'll have to repaint it. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get it much cleaner than this. So you're getting these huge fingers covering half the screen. But even though there is some kind of coloration coming off on the cotton wool, It doesn't really seem to be doing the job, does it? What we'll do here is to take some more of this industrial paper, non-fuzzing, dry this off and see. It's evaporated away. Well, I think it's definitely come up a little bit better. It's definitely looking a bit better, which is really against my expectations. There we go. It does look better. And in fact, I can see this, but probably you can't. Right in the center, right in the center of the paint, it's actually shiny now, which it wasn't in the past. So let's see if there's still a little bit of brake fluid here. Let's see if I can get this out. Well, it's not looking too bad, I must say. I think it's a little bit better than it was. Unfortunately, the front sight has missing paint, so I definitely do need to repaint that. But how's it looking? Yeah, I think marginally clearer. Marginally clearer. Okay, so let's move to the front sight now. Okay, so we've moved to the front sight. I've moved the slide in the vise, as you can see. And what I've done is to trap it so that, hold it so that you can see the front sight. Yes, I think from this angle you still can't see very well, but I'll point it out. Taking a toothpick, you can see this here should be completely round, but it isn't. It's rather like a squashed circle, because paint is missing from the top of it here. So what we're going to do is try to fill that again, and maybe I have to remove some paint, I don't know. I'll have to see how it goes first, but fill it and see if that works. So here goes. Let's remove some grease and fat using, or grease and oil rather, using the well-known looks huge, doesn't it? This Q-tip. That's getting some grime out of there. I'm quite impressed, because I know this must have never have been done in the whole 30 years, or 40 years rather. 30 or 40 years that the thing is old. It seems we might even have revealed some paint, some white paint at the top of the circle, which was leading to me to believe that it was not completely clear. Okay. I don't mind if I rub a little of the paint away like this, because I'm prepared to put a daub of new paint in. But I think we've cleared that. It's rather encouraging. So I'm going to give you a better view by repositioning the vise and the camera. So I've repositioned the camera and the vise with a slide in it, and you can see that the far dot is looking a lot brighter than it was, It was looking, well, it was rather brown and grubby. You can see, I'm going to point to it with a fuzzy toothpick here, the colour of this part, the rear sight, is still not as white as I would like it, but at the moment I'm thinking about whether I shall repaint it or not. But as you can see, the front sight has improved remarkably just through using brake fluid to remove oil and grease. And I'm again in two minds whether I shall use some wood alcohol to effectively continue that task. Let's see if I can get the top of the stuff off. There's a broken top. And we can, I think we'll do it that way, yes. We'll use some wood alcohol on one of these diminutive Q-tips. There we are. And what I'm trying to do is to have it follow the circle of the sight. Now, of course, it does seem to be a little chip of wood away, of colour, I mean. But I think it's a much better result than I was expecting. And I'm probably going to leave it at that. Let's try zooming out and bringing the rear sight into focus. There we go. And now I'm going to use my huge banana fingers on swiping this that looks marginally cleaner to me. There seems to be some other dirt stuck in the sights. Yes, look at that crud coming out of there. So this hasn't been really very much loved in the last 40 years, even though it did belong. There's some more stuff you see coming out there. So this is what we're up against. A little bit of brake fluid. That's probably going to do the trick. It's nice and black, but you can see the rubbish that's come out there. You would think this is completely inconsequential, but of course, when this is the nearest thing to your eye, and you're trying to get a good sight picture, all of this really does help. So, yes, we didn't get anything additionally out there, but it's definitely cleaned up the picture. Now, we haven't shot this yet, but it certainly is going to improve the chances of hitting something if we can actually see where we're aiming. Never a bad idea. So let's sink you down. See what kind of sight picture we get here. Something like that, I would say. It's looking pretty good. And a lot better. Okay, we're slightly off centre, but it doesn't really matter. It is, after all, in a vice. But I must say I'm quite pleased with this. I'm glad I decided to do it. And hopefully I'll get some video shooting this pistol. Okay, I think I'm going to call it a day now, and reposition the camera and reassemble the pistol. Okay, so here we are. We've repositioned the camera, and I'm tidying up my desk, as you can see, or my working area. Brake fluid with alcohol. And what we're going to do is reassemble this P75, as it's called in Switzerland, a P220, as the rest of the world calls it, except of course the difference to the one that you probably know is here is no magazine release. The magazine release is here. So there we go. Okay, so let's take it out. Oh yes, a huge difference. That's really nice. I'm really glad I did that. Definitely. Very nice. Good. So let's put the barrel in it. Same old story. Locks, of course, in the ejection port. Spring. There we go. It's really, really simple. And perhaps something else I can tell you about this is that I chose to take some bluing fluid and where this had been polished by going into the holster, polished down to the bare metal, I've chosen to blue it with one of the proprietary bluing fluids you can get. The one I have is made by the same people as Ballistol. And so that's really taken a lot of the highlights off and left this looking really nice and black and matte, just as it should do. So, but I digress, as a certain prepper likes to say. So here we go, we're sliding it on, locking it back, disassembly lever back to the normal position, and we're currently with a cocked hammer at the moment. Decock the hammer, of course there's nothing in it, and there we go. Magazine in, function check, and much better sight picture. I'm really glad I did that. Worlds of difference. Not nearly so yellow as before. A nice view of the completely round front sight and very nice restored or nicely looked after P75, as we call it here, or 6-hour P220, with the magazine catch here, and here a lanyard loop, which is how the Swiss Army uses it. Okay, so I think that's a successful micro project. Really, I didn't have to do very much at all, and we'll move on to the next one. Thank you very much for watching. You know, if you liked what you've seen, then press the thumbs up, the like sign. If you would like to see more of this kind of stuff, then subscribe, and glad to have you along. Thanks. Bye now.